Hello, everybody. Old Fogey here again. The reason that my site is called Old Fogey's Finds is mainly because if you watch my videos, you never know what you're gonna find in them. My last one was a bit about my father and how he taught me automotive mechanics. And this one, I'm going to talk about him some more. He was a big influence in my life about many things. Now, when I was young, he started working for the city of Arlington. Now, he worked his way up through the ranks and all that, but that's all beside the point. In his process of doing that, he taught me many things. He taught me how to do plumbing. In the beginning, all I did was hand him parts or tools, but watching him do the work taught me a lot more. And before you know it, I was able to assist him in actually doing the repair works and such that he did. Now back then, I made a few dollars off of helping him and his partner that were doing it on the side outside of the city, but I wasn't actually on a payroll. And yeah, I was cheap labor, but I was learning and helping my father and learning what he was doing meant a lot to me. I really appreciated his teachings. And through the years, that allowed me to get jobs, allowed me to make a living for my family, and it was just an ongoing thing. It allowed me to do other things besides just strictly plumbing, but working in the field of that. Many years later, I had a job at a place that manufactured air conditioning coils for automotive. Now, I had been doing welding, started out with my dad's teaching, learning to weld with a torch and on steel with a coat hanger as a rod. By the time I'm talking about, that was pretty much not done anymore, but I still knew the basics of using a arc welder, and at this place I learned how to use a TIG welder. Now the difference between these two is arc welding uses a welding rod. You've got a ground clamp that you hook to the material that you're welding, and then the rod on the stinger that you're holding uses arc to melt it to weld what you're wanting to weld. But this place I'm talking about was basically the same, but it was welding aluminum. I started there learning how to use a TIG welder, which is tungsten arc welding. That means instead of using a rod on the stinger, you use the stinger to make the arc, but you push a rod into it to do the welding with. Well, at that place we used wire instead of just a rod because it was a lot more convenient and still did the same thing. And after I learned how to do that with the company, I wound up going to brazing the manifolds on these coils. Now, brazing means using a torch to heat the metal and putting the rod to it to make the seals. And let me tell you, aluminum is nothing like any other metal. You have to pay attention to what you're doing, or you're going to have too many blowouts. But while I was doing that, since I had the experience of the soldering from doing plumbing work, we had these different types of coils that we put these parts on, and we put them on a jig specifically for that thing, and we could put the parts on them, braze them, have to turn them over and put parts on the other end. And with what my father had taught me through the years, I could work a torch with either hand. Most people cannot do that. It's either right-handed or left-handed. And it didn't matter to me at this point. And all I would do is put my parts on, and whichever hand was closest to the torch is what I grabbed it with, and would do my soldering. There was one day, one of the other people doing this asked me if I was left-handed. I told him no, which I wasn't. I'm not left-handed, but considering I had a left-handed brother, I was able to do a lot of things left-handed that most right-handed people don't. But this was different. And at any rate, this girl asked me if I was left-handed, and I told her no. And she says, "Why are you soldering that left-handed?" And all I could do was say, "Because I can." It's amazing what you can do when you grow up doing certain things. Because the plumbing I did with my father, at times you had to use the other hand for the torch to solder a joint in a tight spot. What can I say? My father taught me many things. Now, if you enjoy this video, let me know. You can subscribe to the channel if you want. That's up to you. It's free to do so. But I'd appreciate you to subscribe. and let me know if you like or dislike the videos. In the comments, tell me what you like or dislike about them. Other than that, I guess for the time being, I'm gonna let you go, mainly because I got a sneezing spell going and I don't know how to stop it at this time.